Scene Mom says, welcome to the new podcast from former Phoenix radio host Danny Cutler. Each week bringing you independent music, industry news, the occasional interview, and other fun segments. Let's get to it. Scene Mom says hello and welcome to episode 83. I'm Danny, your host and Scene Mom, and I'm so glad you have joined me once again this week. I hope everybody had a good week. It was a rough one, politically speaking. It was so bad online I had to step away over the past weekend. I didn't open social media at all, and by Monday morning, I still didn't really want to, but it's a necessary evil with the job. It was a lesson, though, in knowing that you can step away if you need to. My business didn't suddenly end. My show didn't become irrelevant. Unfortunately, I didn't miss a thing. But fortunately, I know that I can do it more now. Just a reminder that you can and absolutely take a break from the social media sites every now and then. It's really good for your mental health, for sure. But hey, there is always music. One common thread, no matter where your beliefs fall. Creating is always important to communities, but it seems to be something that we need to focus on now more than ever. It's creativity in our cultures that will save us all. And a new administration. Oops, did I say that out loud? Okay, let's jump into the show so that I can go see if I have any hate mail. I got your music news, music history, your marketing tip, and a little nerdy news to share this week, plus 5 amazing indie tracks. So let's get back to the music with a little preview. The new single from Phoenix band's Prince Mirth is set to drop on Friday the 16th, but they were kind enough to let me feature it this week. They have an album release show that is coming up Friday, March 27th at my old stomping grounds, Last Exit Live. What stinks is I won't get to Phoenix until over a week later. So close. But if you're in Phoenix, you should definitely check out the show. Here's Prince Mirth and Sometimes a Thief, streaming everywhere on Friday.
Till the memories are big, but I can't go
C-Mom says it's time for some music news. Digital ticketing was supposed to make scam-free ticket buying a reality, but in practice, the fraud has actually gotten worse, with high-demand events, especially huge tours like Taylor Swift's, drawing scammers who exploit fans who are desperate for tickets. Now, despite digital controls meant to stop those bots and fake sales, law enforcement continues to uncover schemes where fraudsters resell bogus and stolen tickets, often through social media or third-party sites, and buyers are left out of pocket. Brokers, venues, and leagues are now trying a mix of new technologies, policing tactics, and fan education to try and fight back. But digital doesn't automatically mean secure. Fans still need to be cautious and aware about where they buy tickets and how they pay to avoid falling for these resale scams. Now, for indie artists, this can mean a couple of things. An increase in ticket scams can damage the trust before fans even walk through the door. When buyers get burned by fake tickets, they are less likely to take chances on smaller shows or unfamiliar promoters, and that can hurt indie artists and grassroots touring with local venues, and it hurts the local venues. But at the same time, it could also increase those fans going out to a smaller local show and trusting smaller ticketing sites like Eventbrite as a sign of being more legitimate. So it could go either way. For fans, and I can't say this enough, it is so important to buy tickets directly from the artists, venues, and verified platforms. And yeah, it does still include Ticketmaster, but you still need to buy direct. For indie musicians, it is definitely a reminder that just being clear in your communication, direct-to-fan ticketing, and being transparent can actually be an advantage in this risky marketplace, and it doesn't look like it's going to calm down anytime soon. In other music news, Grammy-winning East Los Angeles rock band Los Lobos has filed 2 lawsuits against Sony-related companies, claiming they were underpaid or not paid at all for streaming royalties on classic songs that were tied to major film soundtracks. One targets Sony Music Entertainment over a song they did for the Desperado soundtrack, alleging that Sony and its imprint never accounted to the band for any global streaming royalties despite the track's renewed popularity. And the other names Sony Pictures Entertainment and Columbia Pictures over La Bamba, contending that Los Lobos never received royalties for streams outside the US and Canada, even though the song was a worldwide hit. Together, the band is seeking at least $1.5 million in unpaid contractual royalties and a full accounting of what they're owed. It spotlights longstanding disputes over how older recordings are monetized and reported in the digital era. Yeah, a lot of these songs were just kind of forgotten about, but then they get put up on streaming. Somebody's making that money off of streaming, especially these major artists, and it's the labels. So the artists, no matter how famous you are, no matter how rich you are, the artists still deserve to be paid what they're owed. All right, a tiny audio tech startup called Inception Point AI is quietly flooding major streaming platforms with AI-generated podcasts, producing about 3,000 episodes per week and contributing to a total of at least 175,000 AI podcast episodes that are now available on services like Spotify and Apple Podcasts. These shows span niche topics from local weather to biographies, and the company's network, Quiet Please, has amassed roughly 12 million lifetime downloads and 400,000 subscribers, which kind of shows that audiences are listening to this automated content. Running the operation with just 8 employees and monetizing primarily through programmatic ads, the founder argues that AI makes podcasting scalable, profitable, and accessible without human hosts, writers, or editors, a quantity over quality model that definitely raises questions about what audiences want from audio content and how platforms will manage the surge of these synthetic shows. For creators, this flood of AI-generated podcasts raises real concerns about discovery, trust, and, of course, monetization. As automated shows continue to multiply, human-made podcasts may get pushed down in search results and recommendations, so that makes it harder for independent creators to stand out. It also puts pressure on ad rates, since cheap, high AI content can undercut shows that take time, research, and personality to produce. At the same time, it forces platforms to confront how they define quality, authenticity, and being transparent. And for human creators, it does reinforce the value of voice and perspective and having that connection. Those are things that AI can imitate, but not genuinely replace. It's really sad, actually, that there's 400,000 listeners to AI podcasts and they don't even care. All right, finally, streaming service Deezer reports that more than 50,000 fully AI-generated tracks are being uploaded to its platform every day, roughly 1/3 of all new music arrivals. And a survey shows that 97% of listeners can't tell AI-made music from human-created songs. In response, Deezer has become one of the only major services to tag fully AI-generated content clearly and exclude it from algorithmic recommendations and editorial playlists. So they're aiming to protect those real artists and limit fraudulent streams on machine-made tracks. The study also found that many users feel uneasy about not knowing what they're listening to and believe AI tracks could threaten musicians' livelihoods, prompting calls for more transparency. Now, this surge in AI music highlights how rapidly synthetic music is flooding streaming platforms, and it raises questions about discovery and royalties and the balance between human artistry and generative technology. Now, both this article and the last one, it's really scary for creators and musicians. If the market is flooded with AI and people can't even tell the difference between what's real and what isn't, it's really going to make independent artists struggle even more than they already do to be seen and heard. This is why I stress buying music directly from the artist, whether on their own websites, through Bandcamp, merch at shows, all of it. The only way to fight it is to rethink how you support independent creators. Merely streaming isn't going to cut it, and honestly, it just never did. So that's your music news this week. And if you have any feedback, thoughts, more music news to share, you can email me, scenemomsays@gmail.com. That was the latest single from The Darts called Midnight Creep. Their new album, Halloween Love Songs, is out on March 3rd. And of course, I will have a link to their music in the show notes. C-Mom says it's time for some music history. On January 12th in 1974, Wings hit number 1 with their album Band on the Run. Paul McCartney's post-Beatles masterpiece reached the top of the U.S. charts, silenced critics about him, and it helped redefine his solo career. On January 12th as well, in 1968, Johnny Cash recorded at Folsom Prison. He performed inside the California prison, capturing one of the rawest and most influential live albums in music history. On January 14th in 1973, Aloha from Hawaii, starring Elvis Presley, aired worldwide. Broadcast via satellite to dozens of countries, the concert made Elvis the first solo artist to headline a global live TV event. On January 17th in 1970, Simon and Garfunkel's Bridge Over Troubled Water hit number 1. The album began a dominant run atop the charts, became one of the best-selling and most acclaimed records of all time. And on January 18th in 1964, the Beatles' I Wanna Hold Your Hand hit number 1 in the United States. That's when Beatlemania officially took over America, igniting a cultural shift that reshaped pop music forever. And that is some music history for you this week.
Just a coin at the bottom of the well. I am just a coin at the bottom of the well. Oh well, did your wish come true as I lay in hell? Well, I am just waiting for a boy to come and scoop me up and spend me up on something good, something good. Spend me up on something good, something good. But if you toss me up, I always end up face down. But if you scoop me up, you'll be the luckiest boy around, around, around. Oh, oh. Something good. Spend me up on something good, something good. She's swinging her backwards and around, all around. But if you toss me up, I always end up face down. But if you scoop me up, I'll be the luckiest coin around, around, around. Oh. I am just a coin at the bottom of the well. Oh well, I am just a coin at the bottom of the well. Oh well.
That was Phoenix musician M.B. Alexander with Coin. Now, this is one of 2 singles that he put out over the holidays. And get this, whole new concept. He put them out via a phone answering machine called MB Phone, EMBY. When you call 244-255-EMBY, you get to choose which song you'd like to hear, and then you can leave a voicemail at the very end. MB listens to the voicemails, and then he responds on his Instagram and TikTok, which are both MB Alexander, EMBY Alexander. That's a fun concept. And the number again, 244-255-EMBY. I think I'm going to have to leave him a voicemail. C-Mom says it is time for your marketing tip of the week. Check your work before you post on social media or anywhere. Not going to lie, we have all become more lazy thanks to some technology. We copy paste without thinking, or we download a graphic without looking at the quote fine print. Here's a couple of things I've seen more than once. A post that is written by ChatGPT, and at the end of the post it says, "Would you like me to rewrite this for other social media posts?" That means it was just a straight copy paste. They didn't check the work. I've also seen Canva graphics in a post that still have at really great site on it rather than replacing it with the business site or social handle. Now, if you're going to use these tools, please remember to check and double check all your copy before you post. If you aren't going to care about what you're posting, it could look like you don't really care about your business either. And as always, if you want to chat more about marketing and promoting your music or brand, you can schedule a consultation with me at dannycutler.com. You can subscribe to the newsletter, and there's also the private Facebook group. I still have that special going on content calendars through the end of January. 30-day content calendar, basic one with topics that are specific to your business, your music, your brand. We'll have a little strategy call, and then I can learn more about you and your business and why you're passionate. Then I put together post topics that are specific to your business, and that's beyond what others in your field are doing. I also give suggested posting dates and some hashtag ideas too. Great deal, I think, for $35, and it does go beyond what ChatGPT will give you because I give it that personal human touch that AI just can't do. So you'll find all that info at dannycutler.com, and yes, I'll have links in the show notes. Another one from Phoenix, one of my favorite dark wave duos, that was March, MRCH, with Escape the Dark. Again, I will have links to all the music in the show notes. C-Mom says it is now time for a little nerdy news. As 2026 begins, there's a whole new wave of classic books, films, characters, art, and music from 1930 that are entering the U.S. public domain, which means they're now free for anyone to use, reuse, adapt, and share without permission or licensing fees. Included are early animated characters like the original Betty Boop and the first version of Disney's Pluto, as well as literary works such as William Faulkner's As I Lay Dying, Dashiell Hammett's The Maltese Falcon, the first 4 Nancy Drew books, and Agatha Christie's first Miss Marple mystery. A number of iconic songs from that era, like Georgia on My Mind and several Gershwin standards, also joined the public domain alongside classic films and artwork. Experts say this yearly expansion preserves cultural heritage and boosts access, especially for educators and creators, and it also unlocks creative possibilities for people to build entirely new works based on these once copyrighted classics. There's some nerdy news for you. I love that.
Whatever happens within the city limits, maybe fortune, maybe fire, maybe you're a cynic, it doesn't matter. The light burns ever brighter, like a cyclone of desire, and you're the one it's after. Into the nighttime you run away. Lights so bright turn into day. Just for a moment you thought of leaving. Just for a moment you heard the city breathing. You can't escape here, although your heart is aching. In a cyclone of desire, and you're the one it's taking down. Into the nighttime you run away. As neon lights so bright turn into day. Whatever you bring, whenever you sing the song of the night, the love and the hate, the neon and fate in the city of night. Into the nighttime you run away. As the neon lights so bright turn into day. Whatever you bring, whenever you sing the song of the night, the love and the hate, the neon and fate in the city of night. Whatever you bring, whenever you sing the song of the night, the love and the hate, the neon and fate in the city of night.
That was the latest from Ontario, Canada band Glass Apple Bonsai. It's called Love and Hatred in Megawave City. This happens to be the theme song to a new short film. And that's also it for episode 83. Links to all the music and news that you heard this week will be in the show notes. If you have any feedback, you can always get in touch on social media. It's Scene Mom Says on Facebook and D Cutler AZ everywhere else. You can also email scenemomsays@gmail.com. If you like what you hear, please share. I'm also an indie artist trying to get my work out there. I appreciate all of the support, and it also helps support these independent artists. Thanks as always for listening, and you will hear me again soon. You've been listening to the Scene Mom Says podcast. Intro-outro music is Look Good for the Radio by Fairy Bones. Learn more about Danny and the show at dannycutler.com.